You're watching a special edition of the Situation Room. Right now, we're getting new reaction up on Capitol Hill to Donald Trump's arrest and arraignment on 34 felony charges in Manhattan. For more on that, I want to bring in Republican Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. What was your reaction, Congressman, seeing the former president under arrest in court today in New York and learning of these 34 felony counts?
I mean, look, honestly, Wolf, I thought it was a tragedy. I thought it was a joke. Even in this indictment, which a lot of people have had to read now because it's not very long, they don't even cite the actual felony charge. They're saying it has something to do with the 2016 elections, that he was trying to subvert the elections in some new crazy scheme. They're citing bookkeeping in the state of New York as the layup into these felony charges, but they actually don't cite the charge. So what are you supposed to do with that? I mean, it's clear that Alvin Bragg was on a mission to indict Donald Trump, and so that's how we got to where we are. But you say 34 felonies, but what are we actually talking about?
Well,
what are the actual charges? The indictment does not speak to it.
The prosecutors argue in this indictment that Trump's goal was to hide damaging information. That's a direct quote, damaging information from American voters just ahead of the 2016 election. Doesn't that concern you?
Time out. At what point is trying to actually, here's a better question for you, Wolf. Hillary Clinton spent $1 million on a fake dossier citing that he was a Russian plant. We all know that to be true. So it's okay to spend $1 million of campaign cash to create a phony dossier to secrete through the media to tilt the 2016 elections. But now we're going to say that there are booking irregularities about an NDA agreement between him and somebody else, and that's now hiding stuff from the people? I mean, this is a joke. It's a ridiculous. This is why this is a political persecution of Donald Trump.
These were campaign violations, what he was trying to do in paying off $130,000 to Stormy Daniels.
Wolf, even the FEC looked at this, and the FEC said there's nothing to see here. The Department of Justice looked at this. They said there's nothing to see here. Last time I checked, Alvin Bragg does not sit on the FEC. He's not somebody who's steeped in election law. He's a local prosecutor in Manhattan, where, by the way, he's actually downgraded violent felonies in Manhattan. So the people of Manhattan aren't as safe as they should be in their own streets. That is not even his jurisdiction. So he piles that into this indictment, which frankly doesn't even really cite what he's talking about, except the 2016 elections. And we're supposed to sit here and take this seriously? No, this is politics, and it's gross politics. This is the type of thing that the American people don't want to see. Look, you can have disagreements between Republicans and Democrats. I have strong opinions of my own. But to say that you're going to shoehorn some phony situation into a felony indictment or 34 felony indictments, that is a stretch. That is a kangaroo court.
Well, that's what the prosecutors are alleging, and we'll see what happens when there is a trial at the end of this year or early next. The judge today warned both sides, Congressman, against inciting violence after prosecutors argued that Trump made direct threats through a social media post. Does the former president need to speak carefully at Mar-a-Lago tonight?
Look, I think if I were in his shoes, I would be very clear about how this is a political persecution of himself being the leading candidate for the presidency of the United States. I would speak to that. And then the thing that I would also do is make sure people understand that we have to get our country back to law and order and actually following the law, not creating the law just to suit our own interests. That's where he should stay and talk about his record when he was president of the United States and how that is a far superior record than that of Joe Biden, which everybody basically knows.
How worried are you about these other criminal investigations that are underway right now, whether in Georgia or in Florida?
Look, the one thing I am concerned about is where you have prosecutors now who want to, get their 15 minutes, who try to come up with some novel legal theories about trying to raise indictments. I'm very concerned about that. But if you want to speak to the stuff going on in Georgia, the stuff going on in D.C., where they're still trying to blame what happened on January 6th squarely at Donald Trump as if he ordered people into the Capitol, the facts dictate that never happened. He ordered nobody. He organized nothing. Those are the fact patterns. We looked at that in the Oversight Committee. frankly, before Nancy Pelosi shut down the Oversight Committee, but we'll move on from that. I'm not as concerned about what they actually might legally come up with. I'm much more concerned that they're going to do what Alvin Bragg has done in Manhattan. It's atrocious.
All right, Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida, thanks very much for joining us.
Sure, anytime.
All right, just a